let's enter Weird Showbiz History.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know it isn't polite to intrude one's private life upon other people.
But they tried to get us in the same picture often. But that would have been another Hiroshima if they had put us together.
Hollywood. The land of dreams and stardust, and now Ozempic. There have been many famous performing sisters, the Olsens, the Maras, Sledge. This story is about the first two to gain respective international acclaim. We're diving into a story so deliciously bitter, so legendary, it makes Bette Davis and Joan Crawford look like they were wearing friendship bracelets. Get ready for the tale of Olivia de Havilland and Joan Fontaine. Two sisters, two Oscar-winning actresses, and two women locked in a battle for supremacy that lasted, well, practically forever. Sisters are doing it for themselves? We'll see about that.
Our story begins not in the glitz of Hollywood, but in Tokyo. In 1916, Olivia arrived, followed a year later by Joan. From the start, the stage was set for Sibling showdown.
I really think it happened when I was born.
Their mother, Joan Fontaine, seemed to have a very clear favourite. And let's just say it was the one named Olivia.
So she's being rather the little star of the house. So another little one comes in, and she is the kind of person who should have been a single child.
Joan, often sickly, grew up feeling overshadowed.
I was a sick little child, and I don't think Olivia was allowed in my nursery. And then I think she rebelled and wouldn't come in even. And it started there.
A young Olivia, even at the tender age of 9, did write a will bequeathing all her beauty to Joan, as she had none. And the battles weren't just psychological. One alleged swimming pool fight over the victor of an IQ test resulted in a broken collarbone.
This wasn't your average childhood horseplay. This was a full-blown sibling smackdown.
Breaking your collarbone was certainly...
Yeah, that was an accident. I'm sure it wasn't entirely intentional.
Fast forward to California, where the de Havilland family hoped to strike gold. Olivia, naturally, was the first to shine. With her classic beauty and natural grace, quickly landed roles in swashbucklers like Captain Blood and The Adventures of Robin Hood, establishing herself as a major star.
We'd be together.
Because I love you, Robin, I'd come. Even a danger would mean nothing if you were with me.
Joan by this point had matured from an awkward soul into a more rebellious one.
Parents and people around us brought us up with a point of view of vying. You can, she can't kind of thing. Contest.
Now determined to escape her sister's ever-growing shadow, she decided that acting was her destiny too. Her sister's mantra, de Havilland told a reporter, was, "I want to do what you're doing." A classic case of if she can do it, I can do it better, or at least differently. And she found her niche with a master of suspense.
If you don't think we are happy, it would be much better if you didn't pretend.
Alfred Hitchcock cast Joan in Rebecca and then Suspicion, roles that showcased her vulnerability and earned her critical acclaim, something Olivia desperately craved.
Because here was Joan working with this hot, new, sexy director, and Olivia wanted an opportunity to have a more grittier role.
And as their star rose, the competition got personal. They started vying for the same roles, for attention, and even men.
Wouldn't you like a nice young man to marry you someday?
Silly, outmoded convention, started by the caveman and encouraged by the florists and jewelers.
She is a lion, and I am a tigress, and they don't get along.
Joan shocked the world, well, Olivia, by marrying before her older sister, then seen as something of a social slight. The groom, actor Brian Aherne, whom Olivia had once dated, the audacity. And the drama didn't stop there. On the eve of Joan's wedding, none other than Olivia's bae, Howard Hughes, tried to convince her to ditch Aherne and marry him instead.
And he said very quietly, you know, you're not going to marry Brian Aherne, you're going to marry me. I was absolutely thunderstruck.
When Joan told Olivia about his inappropriate proposal, She either didn't believe her or didn't want to believe her sister. Nonetheless, it only further complicated their relationship.
We had tea together, and I went home and I said, Olivia, I have often heard about Howard Hughes's various ladies, and I'm not one of them, but here's his telephone number. This is what he really is like. She didn't like that at all.
Professionally, they were both superstars. The late 1930s and 40s saw both Olivia and Joan rise to fame. Olivia became a star with Gone with the Wind, while Joan gained recognition in Hitchcock's Rebecca. The year is 1942, it's the Academy Awards. Olivia and Joan were nominated for Best Actress. The first time that a pair of siblings had ever competed against one another in the same Oscar category. The air was thick with anticipation, resentment, and enough hairspray to single-handedly deplete the ozone layer. Joan was nominated for Suspicion, Olivia, Hold Back the Dawn. The tension in the room was palpable, a heady mix of ambition and a long-simmering sibling rivalry. But what happened on that night would go far beyond a mere professional competition. It would ignite the flames of a decades-long feud, a battle for recognition, and a struggle for acceptance. Everybody expected Olivia to win. She was the clear favourite. But then, the unthinkable happened. The name that was called...
Joan Fontaine wins an Oscar for Suspicion.
The spectators loved it, watching on eagerly to see if the losing sister would burst into tears. The underdog had triumphed.
Point where yourself and Olivia de Havilland, your sister, were in fact up for the same Oscar nomination, weren't you?
Yes.
Both nominated.
And it was very rude of me to win it.
It was
Really? I couldn't help that, really. I couldn't.
Olivia's face a mix of shock, horror, and a desperate need for a voodoo doll. Instead of a gracious congratulations, Olivia grabbed Joan's hand and exclaimed, "We've got it."
Joan thought to herself, wait a second, there's no we in Oscar winner. I mean, well, technically there is, yeah, but it was Joan's moment, and Olivia's attempt to share it, it only fueled the fire. But Olivia felt that Joan misunderstood her feelings. Olivia wasn't feeling jealousy, she was feeling a sort of saddening pride. By Joan winning, it actually hurt her own prestige being an older sister.
The press, of course, had a field day. The headlines practically wrote themselves, and the sisters did not disappoint. The Oscar win widened the gap between the sisters. Joan finally achieved something that Olivia had not. But it was okay, as soon Olivia was head over heels in love, ready to start her new life.
She had fallen for novelist Marcus Goodrich, who was still living off the critical raves for his book Delilah.
But Joan, not so much, and couldn't resist throwing some major shade.
They planned to get married, and Olivia excitedly called Joan to tell her the good news. But Fontaine was cold and unimpressed, and later rudely told columnists, "It's a pity Marcus Goodrich married 4 times, but only wrote 1 novel."
Joan made public remarks about Olivia's husband's multiple marriages and limited published work. A callous remark that reached Olivia and deepened their existing tensions into a full-blown feud, and refused contact with Joan until she received an apology, which was not forthcoming.
But it's true what they say, isn't it? Revenge is a dish best served at the Academy Awards.
And below, Olivia de Havilland.
As in 1947, Olivia finally won a Best Actress Oscar of her own, for the movie To Each of His Own, the first of 2, with the second one coming for 1949's The Heiress.
Here I am, delighted and happy and very, very proud. Thank you.
After Olivia completed her acceptance speech for her first Oscar, she was approached backstage by Joan, who, having just presented the Best Actor prize, stuck around to congratulate her sister, put the water under the bridge. But as was famously immortalized in a photograph, Olivia turned away from Joan, snubbing her advance and walking away.
Have you a sister in show business? Yes. Well, are you the fairer of them? Usually.
I guess so.
By the 1950s, the sharp-witted and gregarious Fontaine resided in New York, while the more serious and impassioned de Havilland relocated to Paris.
And despite living so far apart, they still found a way to annoy one another.
After Fontaine's performance in Tea and Sympathy in London in 1954, de Havilland offered a very tepid "Isn't it something?" as her sole praise. Fontaine also described planning a New York party for de Havilland, who declined, but did send a lavish bouquet of Japanese quince. Joan Riley noted that she took her guests to see the lavish floral display, and they all agreed that Olivia had never looked lovelier.
She has a sister.
Is it Olivia de Havilland?
It is Olivia de Havilland.
After their mother's death in 1975, Joan accused Olivia of blocking her from the funeral. Never one to back down, Joan threatened to go to the press, and allegedly, Olivia relented.
You're a successful Hollywood movie star. You've had success, glamour, parties, travel, an exciting life, and yet you've called your book No Bed of Roses. Why?
This incident prompted Joan to write a tell-all autobiography, No Bed of Roses, painting Olivia as, well, not exactly Mother Teresa. Unsurprising, Olivia was less than thrilled, claiming she'd been unable to contact Joan regarding funeral arrangements. But the book, that was really the point of no return. The sisters were officially estranged for good. Even at the Academy's 50th anniversary celebration of the Oscars, they were strategically seated at opposite ends of the stage. The organisers knew that putting them within striking distance of each other would be a recipe for disaster. For another anniversary 10 years later, upon finding they were booked into adjacent hotel rooms, Joan switched her room so she wasn't breathing the same air as Olivia, and vowed to never attend the Oscars again. And she never did.
The only trouble with Hollywood, you know you're running out of it. You're going right straight through it and out the other end. It's not a cul-de-sac because they don't want you that long anyway.
Olivia, on the other hand, swept onto the stage to introduce the class photo at the 75th Academy Awards in 2003, one of the most memorable moments in Oscar history. Joan, head of the competitor, even joked about beating Olivia to the grave. "I married first, won the Oscar first, had a child first, and if I die first, she'll be undoubtedly livid because I beat her to it." And victory was indeed hers.
And we have some breaking news. In the past half hour, close friends of the Oscar-winning actress Joan Fontaine have announced her death. She was the sister of the equally famous Olivia de Havilland. She was 96 years old.
I'm a very happy woman. I feel very fortunate. I've accomplished a lot. I've done it all by myself. And I'm rather proud of that.
Upon her death in 2013, Olivia, who rarely ever spoke ill of Joan in public, paid homage. Dragon Lady, as she called her, was a brilliant, multi-talented person, but with astigmatism in her perception of people and events, which often caused her to react in an unfair and even injurious way. She was asked if she would have said this if her sister was still alive. "If Dragon Lady were alive today, out of self-protection I would maintain my silence." Even in death, the shade and banter continued.
Despite all their fallouts and all their disagreements, there were always moments where it was clear that love did remain beneath the surface.
Print the nice things. My sister and I took my father's ashes to Guernsey, where he was brought up with my mother. And she and I sprinkled his ashes into the English Channel at sunset. Not one newspaper printed that. When she came to New York and I gave her a party, nobody printed that.
Joan lending her sister money in 1969 when visiting a troubled Olivia in Paris, who was separating from her husband. More poignantly, in No Bed of Roses, she describes how Olivia cared for her after a painful breakup in 1974. "Olivia dressed me, put me to bed, as she sang a Japanese lullaby from our childhood. Still, the tears would not stop."
But there are many family feuds, I know, and many people are estranged from their children as well as their parents, and it is a terrible waste of time.
Olivia de Havilland lived to the ripe old age of 104. A testament to good genes, good living,
and of course, a healthy dose of competitiveness. So what do we learn from this epic sibling drama? Was it a product of Hollywood's cutthroat environment, a difficult upbringing, or just a fundamental incompatibility? I do think they loved one another, they just had a very, 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 very strange way of showing it. Whatever they felt about each other, they both accomplished their life goals as very distinct individuals, leaving their own unique mark on the history of entertainment, whose rivalry continues to fascinate long after the final credits have rolled. So what do you think about this story? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into weird showbiz history, don't forget to like and subscribe for more strange and fascinating stories from the world of entertainment. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.